Hi everyone, I just wanted to share with you something that God has been speaking to me about since the 1st of January. Something that I've taught the kids on many times in my life. Thankfulness, about prayer and thanksgiving. And I'm sure we've heard many sermons. I've heard many sermons. But in recent weeks, thankfulness has meant a completely different thing for me and brought my experience of new freedom. So I just wanted to share some of the insights that I've had on thankfulness, and I apologise if I'm teaching you to suck eggs. The verse from Colossians, which is devote yourself to prayer, being watchful and thankful, is what started this. I'm a great nagger. I'm a great doer and I'm a great nagger. Simon can confirm that for you. But what God has been saying to me is bring my prayer requests to him. Lay out my concerns before him. And then speak candidly, be truthful, speak my heart, but guess what? Then leave it with God. I don't need to keep going back over and over again with the same prayer. I don't need to keep going back over and over again with my to-do list and asking him to get involved, because he heard it. So where does the prayer being watchful and thankful come into it? Well, the thankfulness, what I've realised is when I thank God for the answers that he has already set in motion, I get a completely different mindset. He's already set these answers in motion. The fact that I've not discerned them yet makes no difference whatsoever. They are still set in motion. So be thankful, Gerry. The other thing is, when your requests come to mind again, my automatic reaction is to go to the Lord and go, please can you, or come on Lord, or I declare. And actually, shut up, Gerry. Just be thankful again, because as I've said, I've set them in motion. Be thankful for the things that I am doing. The second thing is that he's taught me is being thankful for what God will do. Thank God that he will equip me for the journey that lies ahead of me every day. And when I feel anxious or worried or I can't see things happening, what I've learned to do is just whisper God's name, keep whispering God's name and being thankful. I thank you, Jesus, for. I thank you, Jesus, that you are. And it refocuses me back on God. I've taught the kids this so many times. I'm sure they've done it much better than I do. The other thing about being thankful of God is not only does it refocus us back on God, it stops us focusing on the problem. It stops us dwelling on the problem. It stops the problem from becoming so big that we become overwhelmed by the problem and feel like we're sinking under the weight of the problem. If we keep stating our concerns, one of the things I've realised is if I keep stating my concerns, I just end up living in a state of stress and tension. And that is not a state that God calls me to live in. He actually calls me to live in a state of praise and thanksgiving. Thankful prayers I've learned, keeps my focus on God's presence and God's promises. And the release from that allows me to then have a positive mindset and remove that anxious, stressful, negative mindset. And then I have been asking God's Spirit, now take control of my mind. Please take control of my mind. Leave it with God. And I thank him that he will do this so that I can think great things of God, so that I don't need to actually worry about these things. And one of the other changes in my mind shift has been that I need to see that the difficulties that I experience are often setting the scene for God's glorious intervention on earth as it is in heaven. That's a big shift in my mindset. Seeing the difficulties I experience as an opportunity for God to act on earth as it is in heaven. One of the things I read in my quiet time recently was that I've forgotten the name of the lady's the writing, but she said, the future is a phantom seeking to spook us. And she said, in fact I'll quote her, she says, when we look into the distance we see treacherous waves. But when we thank Jesus and we draw close to Jesus and we fix our eyes on him, the time the waves reach us, they've shrunk to proportions of God's design and they do not swamp or drown us. And that's the time to thank God. Thank God that he will always be beside us, helping us to face the waves. Thank God, finally, that he can assert his authority in the timing of events in our lives and the timing of events of things he does on earth. So thankfulness. I'm still on the journey. I'm still learning. I can maybe update in the future, but this is the thing that I'm learning at the minute. And the final thing is the Philippians, which is, I've got it on my wall. I'm going to read it from my wall, which says, "Do not be anxious, but in everything, with prayer, petition, thanksgiving, present your request to God." It needs to be on my wall. It's going to keep reminding me. I hope this has blessed you today. See you soon.